Sweet.
We're live. What's up, everybody? This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery. This is Hump Day Hangouts, episode 193. Is that correct? Yes, correct. 193. It's July 18th, 2018. We've got everybody on except Adam. That's why I'm doing the introductions, I guess. So I'm going to go right on down the line as I see them. What's up, Chris? How are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here as always. Hernan is up. What's up, Hernan? You're muted. Or you're not muted. Your mic's not working, though.
Aye.
Hello.
Now
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? How are you guys? Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm rocking the Semantic Mastery shirt. And I'm super excited for what's coming, super excited for the live event. If you guys come, you will get some swag like this. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, excited.
Some SM swag.
Yep,
Awesome.
Indeed.
And Marco, the unapologetic spammer, what's up, buddy?
POFU, man. Working towards POFU always. That's why we're having the live event, right? POFU live. It's what we do. It's what we do every day of our life. That's the goal. That's like it's like tunnel vision. What can I do today to get to where I need to be? It's not where I want to be. It's not where I should be. It's where I need to be, man. That's where I need to be. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Well, I think you guys had a couple things you wanted to chat about prior to us getting into questions today. So I'll leave that up to you. I think, Hernan, you had something you wanted to mention, and then Marco, you as well, correct?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're the clock is ticking, guys, and the reality is that this is our first event, so we want to make it super small and super tight, if you would, because we want to give you guys as much as much value as possible. We don't want to go overboard. So if you really are interested in joining us, there's going to be a link on the event page so that you can join for the super early bird. The prices are going to go up shortly, so make sure that you start with all of the planning when it comes to tickets and whatnot. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to be adding some more information during the week, like the end of this week and the beginning of next week. We're going to be adding, I have my topic. I think Bradley has his topic too. So it's going to be pretty awesome. We have some lineup guest speakers coming up. And it would be pretty amazing if you guys could join us. And there's also some other stuff that I wanted to mention in terms of the pricing of the tickets. There's one of them, which I think is a no-brainer, because not only you will get access to the entire event, but you would also get access to the mastermind for free. So go check it out. It's going to be on the page. And you will also get us, the Semantic Mastery team, going through the people that get that specific type of ticket. We will go through your business and how you can make it better, which I think is pretty cool, because that's like a no-brainer. You can actually transform your entire business in pretty much a weekend. So I think that holds a lot of value as well. So looking forward. Do not delay, because based on the demand, if you would, that's it. Will make us decide to move forward or not. So if you're really interested in joining us, do not delay. Go to that page. And yeah, just get your early bird tickets.
Cool. Marco, you have something too?
Yeah, just a quick mention about POFU. You guys know what that stands for, or you should. If you don't, I'll be posting a link to the video so that you can get a little bit of what it's about. But just so you know, my subject is not for people with delicate sensibilities. When Marco talks, and I get going, the mouth just goes, and it's liable to go anywhere. And so if you have delicate sensibilities, if you have a heart condition, if you're on meds, don't go. But if you want to hear me, unfiltered, raw, and tell it to you the way it is, because I'm not gonna hold back any punches, then I suggest that you go and listen to what I have to say. Not that I know anything about anything. I've just been around long enough to have gained some life experience, guys, that I can share, which is part of what I'm going to do. The other thing that I want to talk about is just the MGYB marketplace, which is coming along just awesome. We have all sorts of products that are available in there. Our Google My Business Autoposter is in there. It's available. Video Carpet Bomb, we have part of it available. The bigger area, right? We're getting in the other product with the smaller area for those who just want to poke within a smaller area and just one keyword, just something quick where they can check and see if they can rank for it. We just have so much awesome stuff that's going in there, done for you. I showed you guys what our done for you Google My Business girl can do, right? The girl who optimizes and posts and grabs images and videos and just everything with local relevance, guys. You saw it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have her, guys, why don't you give me a suggestion of a place you'd like me or you'd like her to grab a video of, just something local where you want her to go and grab a video so that we can make it available and show you actually what she could do. I'd love to do that for you, just so you can see. And there's so much more. We have RYS Reloaded coming into the MGYB marketplace, and just a whole bunch of things coming down the line. YouTube views, real people watching your videos. You can't get any better than that. I'm telling you. Throw bots at it. It's not going to react the same way as real people are. Go check it out. It's and I'll drop the link in here. It's mgyb.co. Go check out the landing page. Go check out. Join. It's free to join, guys. You don't have to pay anything to join and look inside and take a look around. It's still a work in progress, of course. It'll get better as it comes. We just want to make the products available to you, man. That's all. We just want to do you guys just the type of give you guys the type of service that you're used to from Semantic Mastery, and that's what we're working towards. And of course, that's part of being in POFU.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah, guys, it's going to be great. This will be our first event. We're trying to keep it small, 25 members only. As Hernan mentioned earlier, there's pretty much a no-brainer for one of the purchase options, which will give you a free year of Mastermind included, which is awesome, or vice versa. If you're already in Mastermind, you get a free ticket to go. So there's pretty much, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. And it's in my backyard, basically, because it's Washington, D.C., which is about an hour drive for me. So, well, depending on traffic, maybe an hour and a half. But anyways, there's a lot to do there too, but we're going to get together and just kind of talk about and do training. And we got a couple guest speakers that are going to be there already. It's great. And we're going to be talking about how to build business, an actual online business with scalability, to where you can position yourself as an actual business owner instead of being self-employed. Guys, most of us are entrepreneurs. Most of us are solopreneurs, which means we do almost everything in our businesses ourselves. Which means you're really self-employed because you don't produce revenue unless you do the work. The definition of a true business owner is one that can remove themselves from the day-to-day operations and the business still runs and generates revenue. And that's because you got key personnel or automations in place that manage and run the business and like on the day-to-day operations. And that's the definition of a true business owner. If anybody's ever read the Cash Flow Quadrant by what's his name, Robert Kiyosaki, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so to move from the E quadrant to the B quadrant, that's where you have true freedom, right? Because now you're a business owner, something that's generating, it's an asset that generates you revenue, whether you're there or not, whether you're present or not. It's not reliant upon you to actually do the work or trading hours for dollars, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where we're trying to push our mastermind members. Like that's where we're trying to make the mastermind is not just about digital marketing stuff and SEO. It's more about building a real sustainable business that can push our members from being self-employed to being true business owners. And that's what POFU Live is going to be all about. Putting you in a position of POFU, the position of fuck you. So
yeah. And if I can add to what you just said, Bradley, which I think it makes a lot of sense, is that the reality is that, we talk with a lot of mastermind members and, we have these onboarding calls, which you get access when you're joining for the first time and you jump on a call with any of us and you get a 30-minute consultation and whatnot. And the reality is that most of the people that I talk with, that we have been talking to for the past couple of months, is that you got the ranking game on point. Like you can rank, you can get a business leads, you can get, you can actually get out there and get results for your clients, which is great. But here's the thing. Many of you, or many of the people that we talk to, they feel stuck because they cannot scale because they're doing everything themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're talking with the client, and then they're turning around, they're sitting on the computer, they're doing the stuff. And the reality is that I just happened to hire a social media girl like 2 weeks ago. And the power of processes was that she was completely untrained, and I was able to train her to fully, capable in just 1 week because I already have all the processes in place. So the main point is that you can kind of free yourself from this equation of, getting a new client, sitting down, turn around, sitting down, doing this stuff. That's why we have all of the done for you services, out there. But not only that, you can always focus on building your business. Like imagine at your stage right now, if you're right now at the level where you're at, if you would have like 10 new clients coming up, right? You will become your own bottleneck. Well, that's exactly the type of position that we want to kind of eliminate on the event, so that you can actually get 5 new clients or 10 new clients without having to pull your hair off. So that's basically our main point on that event, and I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Yep, I agree. So, all right, so can we get into questions now, guys?
Let's do it.
I got some questions from last week that I want to get to, and we're not going to make a habit out of this, guys, by the way. It's first come, first serve, but I did mention last week at the end of the webinar or on the comment page, the event page, that I was going to answer these questions to this week. So again, like I said, I don't want to make a habit. We're not setting a precedent where old questions that come in late will get answered the following week, because otherwise new questions won't ever get answered. So just want to make that known right now. Okay, but I did promise these 3 people that I was going to answer their questions. So let me grab the screen. We'll jump back to the last week's event page for just a moment. We'll go through those rather quickly, and then we'll jump into the new questions. All right. Okay, so this is the first one that I said I was going to answer from Faisal. He says, "Hi, Bradley Benner. Hope we'll be fine there. I need to ask something. If you would please clarify it to me so that I can sell your IFTTT service and Google Stack services to my client. Not the course I'm talking about, the creations of these 2 services all over the world." In other words, he is a Fiverr provider that was selling syndication networks based upon our methods, as well as drive stacks based upon our training on Fiverr, which, I don't care. That's fine, Faisal. If you want to sell, just the problem is, and hold on, let me finish the question. He says, if yes, then why is Fiverr not allowing such services to offer on their marketplace? They said your gig has been flagged by our team following a third-party complaint claiming your gig is infringing upon their intellectual property rights and or violating their terms of use. As a valued member of the Fiverr community, so basically they're just saying respect other people's intellectual property. And it says it's reported from Semantic Mastery, or are they not allowing me to offer, sir? Well, first of all, I didn't report it, and I don't think anybody on my team did because I've asked them. So, but even if we did, if we reported it, it would have been because you, which again, I don't know that any one of us did, Faisal. I don't know what your Fiverr username is or whatever your profile name is on there. But my point is, it's we do, notify IFTTT or other places when there are DMCA violations, right? The Digital Millennium Copyright Act violations. So if you're using any of our images that we developed for our own training courses or for our sales pages, or if you're using any of our copy directly from our sales pages or directly from our training, then that is a violation of DMCA. And again, I don't know that any of us actually reported you. It could have been if you had, for example, just so you understand, Faisal, it's not, if you're using any of our assets without our express permission, then that's a violation, okay? Just the same as we used to call it IFTTT SEO Academy before it became Syndication Academy. Why do you think we rebranded it? Because we got a cease and desist order from IFTTT stating that they were going to sue us if we didn't stop using their logo and their brand name in our training and in our products. So we removed all of that and rebranded it to Syndication Academy. Yes, it uses IFTTT. That's not a violation. The violation is using their logos in our marketing and in the marketing of our product, right? As well as using their name or IFTTT, that brand name, that trademarked name in our product name, which is what, and also in the domain, which is why we had to rebrand to Syndication Academy, which I think is better anyways, because now it's our own brand, right? But that's what I'm saying, Faisal. If you, again, I don't know that any of us reported you. I can tell you personally, I didn't. And my partner said that they don't remember reporting this either, but it could have been that somebody else, for example, IFTTT, they went on a rampage. Like,
yeah, Brad. If I may, that's exactly it. IFTTT went off on Fiverr.
Yeah.
Yep. That was it.
Because we've heard from a lot of other marketplaces that were selling syndication networks that they all, I think I don't know if we were the first ones, but I know from the other people that we've heard that IFTTT lawyers contacted them, they were all came behind us. Like, in other words, we were contacted. If you guys remember when we rebranded to Syndication Academy, that's why, because we got contacted by them. And then it was like 3-4 months later, several other places started noticing, like, example, Fiverr was one of them, where a lot of gigs got taken down because they were using IFTTT intellectual property, like the logo, trademarked logos and stuff like that on their gig, sales pages or whatever. And so that's again, it's a violation, guys. It's a violation of DMCA. So Faisal, I don't care if you're going to sell, and look, not to pick on you, Faisal, but I can tell you right now, if you're trying to sell syndication networks and or drive stacks for $5 on Fiverr, there's no way, there's absolutely zero possibility that they can be up to the standards that we provide with our syndication networks, because the amount of work that goes into what we do, and the reason why they work so well is because of the amount of work, and it's a manual it's built manually, in other words, by virtual assistants. We don't use automations or software or anything, right? And that's why ours works so well, and all the interlinking that we do and the special tender loving care that we give to them. So honestly, I wish you the best. I would try to restart those gigs if you'd like, with using, making sure that you're not using any trademarked or branded or anything that's been copyrighted from anybody, from us, from IFTTT, from Google Drive, or from Google, any of their logos, any of that stuff. Because again, that's how you can get your gigs terminated. But on a side note, I wouldn't be selling them for $5 anyways. You're out of your mind, because that's way too much work, unless you're just selling a subpar product, which is probably likely the case, right? So anyways,
if I may,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
if I may, just so people know, it takes Jessen, who has been at this the longest, who knows how to put everything together, about 5 to 6 man hours to put a drive stack together, right?
And he's a ninja.
And he's fucking awesome. He's the best. It takes the people that he has trained, it takes them anywhere from 6 to 12 man hours to put a drive stack together. That's how much work goes into your drive stacks when you order them from us. So if you're spending 6 to 12 hours on a stack and you're charging $5,
yeah,
the ROI just isn't there, man. You need to rethink your business model.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so moving on, Emmeline says, a couple of quick questions. By the way, I saw Emmeline had actually posted on today's event page that he just got his drive stack back, and essentially this question, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over this, Emmeline, only because I saw that you did already receive. This question was about, I think it was he's talking about how he ordered the drive stack already, but he wasn't sure about which types of links to include as the target URLs for the drive stack. Marco, do you want to give just a quick overview for people that may want to order drive stacks, what they should be promoting with it?
Yeah, Emulin, write to support@semanticmastery.com and ask for your DFY users guide. You should have gotten that. And that tells you exactly what to do. The best links that you push, best way to push links to the stack, everything. The Google site, all of the files, folder, use every. We push link building to everything, but just ask for the done for you users guide. It's available. It should have been delivered to you with your stack. If it wasn't, and I don't know why, but once we get everything together in MGYB, I'll make sure that gets included with every order.
Yep. Okay, and I forgot. I don't see his question on this event page. Just double checking. Wow, looks like we got several more came in. All right, let me roll through these next ones really quickly, guys, and then we'll get back to it. So best local services, he was actually the one that where I started saying that I'll answer the question next week. He says, I'm doing some rank and rent videos stuff at the moment with Bill Cousins stuff. Okay. He says, I was watching one of the webinars and Bradley, you were on there. My question is, what is the best way to utilize tools like Syndwire and Syndlab? I have both, so I can push the videos that are on second page, or if they're on the first page, to cement their spot on page one. I have like 700 plus networks inside the tool, so I can do lots of blasts, but need a range or strategy to not penalize my videos or ruin the rankings. When blasting, what's the safe range to use with tools to not overdo it? How many backlinks, embeds, status updates, video backlinks, etc.? I don't want to overdo it, but I also don't want to underdo it. Let me know, please. Thank you. And so I told Best Local Services that I would talk about this briefly. Just some strategies here. First of all, guys, remember, YouTube is one of the things that engagement drives rankings. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be mostly link-based, but now it's more about engagement. I know videos that can rank for incredibly competitive terms with engagement alone. In other words, no heavy backlinking, just natural organic backlinking and social sharing and social and activity from engagement, right? Remember, when you get, if you got a video that's getting, even like, I'm not even saying going viral and getting, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions of hits. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, because like, think about for local videos, like local videos are very rarely ever going to go viral, right? I mean, like there would have to be something crazy in the video for it to go viral or something like that. So that's not what I'm talking about. But for local, like lead gen videos, just getting, depending on the search volume for the keywords that you're ranked for. But let's say that keyword gets, you know, on average 200 searches per month. And you've got your video getting a steady stream of like, I don't know, 30 views per month, or excuse me, per week. That's significant. That's a significant amount of activity or engagement for that keyword. If it's, especially if it's like a search and a click through to the video, because that's a signal that Google and YouTube know, right? They know that somebody did a keyword search either in Google or in YouTube, found your video and clicked on it and engaged with it. And that's a huge ranking signal right now for videos, right? Is engagement. And so that's called like CT spam. And there's apps that will do that, although they pretty much all suck at this point because they're bots, and Google's algorithm is smart enough now to understand that. But there's also our YouTube view service, which is in the Make Google Your Bitch or mgyb.co marketplace, which are real people. It's not a bot service. It's not like all them stupid YouTube buying or views buying services that you would go to before that are totally spammy, that will get your channels terminated now. These are real people. So you can do that. You can also set up YouTube ads. I've talked about that numerous times on Hump Day Hangouts. Just go to our YouTube channels at youtube.com/semantic mastery and search for how to use YouTube ads for local to rank local videos or something like that. Just search for that. You'll find. I've talked about it so many damn times. I'm not going to recap it right now. But there, you can set up YouTube ads to help rank your videos. So first and foremost, engagement. I know that has nothing to do with the two tools you're asked about. But what I want to point out is if you're not getting engagement on your video, like natural views or paid views, when I say paid views, I mean by setting up YouTube ads, because now you're buying views directly from Google, right? Or from our service, which are basically, it's paid. It's a paid traffic service too. But what I'm saying is if you're not getting engagement, but you're getting a shit ton of embeds and a shit ton of backlinks and all that kind of stuff, guys, that's completely unnatural. If you don't think Google's algorithm is smart enough now to know that it's just getting spammed to death for ranking to manipulate its search position, then you're crazy. Because if you think about it, if it's collecting hundreds of thousands or tens of whatever of links, thousands of links and thousands of embeds and thousands of social signals and stuff, but there's no actual views and engagement with the video, then is that natural? Absolutely not. And that's a simple detection by the algorithm now. So my point is, like, before you go crazy with all these backlinking tools and social sharing tools and all that kind of stuff, I would first start traffic, bona fide, real traffic, genuine traffic. Again, YouTube ads or our YouTube view service is great. And then from there, and then you can even do some CT spam stuff if you do it correctly. But it's like, and what I mean by CT spam is, again, just go to our YouTube channel, search for CT spam or click-through spam. You'll see a bunch of, I've talked about that many, many different times too. Okay. So start the engagement process first. Once you get that going, then you can start hammering it with backlinks and embeds. If you're going to go the backlink and embed route, just go real conservative at first. Like, for example, we have Video Powerhouse inside of searchspace.com, and that's an embed network. But guys, even me, like, you know, I have access to, I can post to all the networks that I want because it's, you know, it's our service, but I don't do it. When I go to promote my own videos, I'll do like a 50 embed, tier 1 embed on it. And then I'll drip it out over 14 days because it doesn't require a whole lot, especially if you're driving traffic or signals, engagement signals to the video, right? And I'm telling you, it responds so well if you are providing engagement signals first, and then you add some embeds and some backlinks and stuff, it will respond so much better. Okay, but lastly, because you had asked specifically about how to use them tools and not how to and how to not overdo it, one of the ways that you can not, or that you can help from not overdoing it, is don't embed that, like, don't take the video and link directly to the video URL with thousands of backlinks. And don't take the video and embed it in hundreds or thousands of properties. Now, guys, I know there's some people here that all they do is mass spam campaigns and it still works. And I get that. I understand that it does still work. You can brute force SEO sometimes videos up. But what I'm saying is that's not necessary. Because if you just provide proper engagement signals to begin with, then you only need a tiny fraction of the off-page signals, the traditional SEO signals and backlinks and embeds and such, for you to achieve the same results that the mass spammer had to put, you know, build tens of thousands of links and do, you know, hundreds or even thousands of embeds to get the same result, if that makes sense. So I always try to do things with the least amount of effort, guys. I like easy. You know, I like easy. And easy to me is setting up an engagement campaign and then adding in a little bit of SEO into the mix to give it the push that it needs. So if you're going to be doing the SEO stuff primarily instead of doing engagement, then you just don't want to do the SEO stuff direct to the video URL, or to take and do tier 1 embeds, like take the embed code and just blast the shit out of it all over the place, unless you're going to, like I said, unless you're providing engagement signals. So how do you get around that? What is the other way? We'll do second tier stuff. In other words, like we talk about all the time about how powerful using Google properties are. So take the video and embed it into a Google site, right? Or a blogger site. You know, Google sites are incredibly powerful right now. So I would say add the video to a Google site, and then hammer the shit out of the Google site with backlinks, right? Because now you're not hitting the video directly. You're hitting the Google site, which is and the video is iframed in the Google site. And Marco could go on a huge tangent about the power of iframes. If you want to learn that, come join RYS Academy Reloaded, right? But again, just think about it smartly. You don't want to hit the video asset directly with a shit ton of SEO signals unless you have engagement signals that would warrant that kind of SEO signals, right? If you're going to be just hammering SEO signals, then do it on a second tier or within an iframe loop, because that's how you can prevent overdoing it and getting your video sandboxed. Okay. Does anybody else want to comment on that? That was a great question, by the way.
I just want to ask, boil it down a little bit, because a lot of people are talking about all of these traffic signals and whether they're ranking signals or whether they're ranking factors and all this other shit, and they try to confuse you, or they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it boils down to ART. A-R-T, activity, relevance, and trust and authority. Trust and authority as far as Google determines it,
right?
Not by some a third-party metric that nobody knows how the hell it works, because somebody else wrote the algorithm besides Google. Nobody can guess Google's algorithm. You can only take an educated guess. We don't know, but what we do know is that when we apply ART, when we apply activity, which is what Bradley mentioned, you get some type of activity going. Real people looking at your video. That's activity.
Yep. You
get relevance. Is the video relevant? Is it, and is everything that it's connected to, is it relevant? Because it has to not only be relevant in the video channel where it's on, it has to be relevant to wherever the embed is occurring or to wherever people are watching it. And there has to be trust and authority. YouTube is great. It's trusted. It's authoritative. But is the destination, wherever you're embedding, is that trusted and authoritative? Well, we know how to make it trusted and authoritative. That's what RYS Academy Reloaded is all about. But guys, it's all about art. When you order the done for you user's guide, I go into detail about art and what it's all about and how to achieve art.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so sorry we took so long on that, guys, but I thought they were good questions that deserved answers. So Alexander, what's up, buddy? Jordan's up. He says, hey, I recently got HoudahGeo, okay, which allows a lot of exif data to be added to photos. Testing exif pics on GMB posts and as featured images on blogs. Any insights you have on to a bump this will or will not provide? Is it worth it? Yeah, that's it's funny, but there was a question in the Local GMB Pro Facebook group, I think just this morning, that Marco replied to that was about that. Like, you know, should we be adding the exif data to all the GMB post photos? And Marco, what was your answer about that?
Yeah, my answer is what I like to think of myself as a master mimic. Now, I can't be on location, so I have one of two choices. I can ask a person on location to do the work, or we can train someone like we have been to try to mimic location, right? And do it that way. Whichever way you do it, if you're on location, think about it, and you have your phone, and it's on because your GPS should be on, and you should be taking images. It's adding it automatically, and so you're giving Google all of that information anyway. All of it is going up there, and you're uploading, and it's going into Google's databases, wherever it is that they are. Even if it gets stripped, don't let people tell you that because it's stripped, it doesn't matter. That's bullshit. We know it matters. So yes, now what you don't want to do is you don't want to stuff the crap out of each and every image. Variation counts also, because you're not always going to have that GPS on. When you're at home and you're uploading images, it's different than when you're on location and you're uploading images. So you have to think, wow, this gets really deep, because you have to put yourself in the shoes of the end user, of someone who doesn't know anything about SEO and how they would be using that phone or that camera, whatever it is that they're using to take pictures, to take those images and upload those images. And you have to think about the different types of people that would do this and how they each would mimic.
Like how to make it look natural is what you're saying.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. But one person's natural is not another person's natural.
Right.
Which is why it's so awesome to be able to use, when you're able to use real people, because they act like real people. If not, then when you have to spoof, you know, that's when all of this thinking has to take place, and why it takes training someone such a long time.
Yeah.
But I hope that answers your question, Jordan. Yes, it does provide a bump. I don't know how much, if by bump you mean rankings, I'm not sure, but I think that the relevance altogether with everything that we're doing inside GMB is what actually causes everything to move the way it does.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Sam Bailey says, do you recommend any affiliate link cloaking plugins? My favorite one, and I always promote this one, is Pretty Links. Pretty Links Pro is what you need. It's a one-time fee. If you get a developer's license, you can use it on as many sites as you'd like. I like it. I've been using it. That's I don't know if it's really a cloaking plugin or not. I don't know if that's, but it's an affiliate links plugin, a redirect plugin. And it's got the Pro's got a lot of cool features that you can like insert scripts into the header, like in the redirect itself, and there's a bunch of stuff that you can do with it. So that's what I recommend. Sam, if you want, I think it's semanticmastery.com/prettylinks or PrettyLink Pro or PrettyLink or something like that. If you want to give us credit for recommending it, that would be great. But otherwise, just go pick it up. It's a great plugin. Okay. Chris says, well, this is a support question from Russ, and do you have any further information or video tutorial on how to install and use the Google Directions widget? Is it an actual widget or is it a plugin? Once we install it, how do we optimize to take advantage of ranking in other towns, cities? Any additional information would be helpful. I don't know. I don't even know what the Google Directions widget is. I'm assuming it's like a like something that connects to the Google Maps API. It's probably code that Google gives you that puts a little widget right on your site. So it's likely not a plugin, but honestly, I'm not sure. Does anybody have any insight on this?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah, none of my end.
Google Maps adds a Directions widget. Google Directions widget. That's from July 10th, 2013. I'm not even going to open that. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what a Google Directions widget is. So I'm sorry I can't give you an answer on this, Russ. I don't know what it is. So I would imagine just do a little bit more research online if you can, only because that's all I would do to be able to answer your question is go do some research, find the answer, and then report it back to you. So if I can do that, you can do that, right? If I had an answer, buddy, I'd give it to you. So please don't think I'm trying to avoid the question. I just don't have an answer for you. And all I would do is go research just like I started here until I found the answer for you. So I know you can do that. All right.
Yeah, and we actually teach what he's trying to accomplish with the Google Directions widget. We do that another way in RYS Reloaded.
Maps, right?
No, not yeah, but with the My Maps and with KML, and I'm not gonna say how it's done because it took me a long time to figure that out. But I mean, it works just as well for adding directions and local relevance and a whole bunch of other stuff that works just really well in conjunction with everything else that's taught in RYS Reloaded.
Okay, Dan's up. What's up, Dan? He says, if you were approached to get leads for a Law of Attraction success coaching seminar retreat, how would you drive the fastest leads into such an offer? The seminar is end of August, so not a lot of time. Aside from PPC, would you rank a boatload of Longtail video keywords on page 1? Has a budget of 20K. With 20K, I'd probably be doing mostly PPC, especially because you don't have a lot of time. At the end of August, I mean, you're talking 6 weeks from now, 5-6 weeks from now. So because of that, and with a pretty substantial budget, Hernan, I'd like to get your opinion on this as well. But I pretty much would focus most of my time on PPC stuff.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Yeah, I agree with you, Bradley. And in fact, I would launch a Facebook ads campaign, you know, because you can actually target a lot of people interested in those topics. And you can, if the client potentially has a good landing page, or they have a landing page that they convert, you can drive a decent amount of leads and potentially fill about
YouTube too.
Yeah, YouTube too, because you have a lot of videos and whatnot. So yeah, I would strongly suggest that you do that with PPC directly.
Yeah, because Law of Attraction, guys, like personal development, Law of Attraction, go to YouTube and search, Dan, Law of Attraction videos. I mean, it's a huge market, or a huge industry. And so there's a ton of content on there. And then I would just set up your geo-targeting for your YouTube ads. I would do both video discovery ads as well as in-stream. You're probably going to get more results from in-stream ads for that. But absolutely, I would do both if you have any decent videos. Remember, in-stream ads, guys, can be really quick, short, like call to action, because those are the ones that play, like call to action videos that have a compelling, message to entice the click, because that's all an in-stream ad is a pre-roll ad before the video that somebody actually clicked on, right? So those actually work really well, because again, I guarantee, I mean, I know there's a ton of content on YouTube for the Law of Attraction, and for personal development and success development and all that kind of stuff, because I've been kind of involved in that somewhat a little bit myself, you know what I mean, for the last few years. So I know there's a lot of stuff there. And so that's why saying in-stream ads would work really well. Also, video discovery ads for people that are searching for like Law of Attraction, you could get placed right at the top of YouTube search results. Hernan can talk about Facebook because he's the Facebook expert, and I can help with the YouTube stuff because I can't talk about Facebook. So I think the two of those combined would probably that's where I'd spend most of my time anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Facebook and YouTube could do a lot of damage. Also, retargeting on both networks, because once they visit your landing page, you can follow them around on GDN and Facebook. So yeah, I would strongly go directly for the kill on PPC.
Yeah, and lastly, just real quick, because Hernan just mentioned it, retargeting or remarketing, and as that's known in Google, would work incredibly well too for YouTube, because one of the ways that you can build a remarketing list using people that engaged with your video as an ad. So in other words, if you have your in-stream video, your in-stream ad, which is the pre-roll ads that I just mentioned, and you've got that playing in front of other people's videos, as soon as it gets an impression, it's given an impression, now somebody's going to be on that remarketing list, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Like that's one way to, you only got to get impressions on them the one time, and you can follow them around, right? And just keep repeating the message, especially since you only have a short amount of time.
Yep, agreed.
So.
And use, sorry, one last thing, like use if the client already has a list of previous, attendees or whatever, if this is their
custom
first
audience.
stuff, but yeah, you can do custom audiences on both networks, and they work really, really well. So.
Yeah, and then the similar to audiences work well for that too. So, especially if you've got a pretty big budget. So, all right, Danny's up. He says, if you're training in your training, you teach to use URL shorteners, but to stay away from Bitly, and that the Google URL shortener will be discontinued. So to stay away from that one as well. Well, Danny, we don't say stay away from the Google URL shortener. We just tell you that it's, we just tell you that it's going to be discontinued because it is. If you have access to the Google URL shortener, use the shit out of it until it's discontinued. I still use it all the time. So I'm not telling you stay away from it. We just tell you, that it's going to be going away. That's it. Bitly, guys, by the way, for those of you that don't understand why we say stay away from Bitly, is because Bitly are 301 redirects until Bitly decides that for whatever reason your destination URL is spammy, and they switch it to a 302, and you have no control over that, and it loses all SEO value at that point. At least it doesn't push page rank or link equity, as it's known, right? So and then we have no control over that. It doesn't matter if you have the cleanest, most pristine destination, site that is the destination URL. I don't know what Bitly does to determine or to decide that the redirect is spammy, but they do, and it will switch it from a 301 to a 302 redirect. And that's why I just say stay away from Bitly, because you have no control over that whatsoever. It's just they just do it. And so Google URL shortener is still better or way better because it's just 301. Okay. He says, I have a shortener software called little.im, and it essentially does the same thing as all these link redirect tracking softwares do with retargeting, adding CTA, etc. Would me using this be a good alternative and a smart move? For example, with my Local GMB Pro posts as my Local GMB account for my client, I noticed that you use Google shorteners in some of your posts, so curious of your thoughts. Yeah, you can, Danny. Absolutely. Like I just mentioned to Sam earlier, like I use, well, for example, we even have one of our own. It's smshort.link, right? That's for Semantic Mastery short link, right? So this, basically, this is a WordPress site that has, I'll be damned. What happened? Oh, it's because I'm logged into it. That's why. It's a WordPress site that I just have pretty links installed on, and this is what we use for a link shorteners a lot, right? This is what I want to show you. I love that. But it's smshort.link, and so this is, like I said, I just use PrettyLink, which is a WordPress plugin, PrettyLinks Pro, and we create a lot of redirects with that. I also do that stuff, for some of my client work and things like that. That way, you can absolutely just, as long as it's a 301 redirect URL that you have control over, use it. Right? Okay.
The only problem that I see with his logic is that starting out, he would have 0 page rank and 0 ranking score. And so the links, the redirects wouldn't be as powerful as other websites with their own, with their accrued, right, page rank already, and with their own ranking score. So that would be the only thing. But you can build it up over time so that it becomes a really powerful source. While you're doing that, you could use something like Owly. It's ow.ly, and now it's inside of Hootsuite. So you have to sign up for a Hootsuite account, but you can use it inside of Hootsuite and shorten all your links and get all the power that you can from Owly.
Yep.
And so that's working really well. That's the only problem I see with this.
All right, so this is a support question from Nick. Does your GMB Autoposter tool use proxies? Nope, it doesn't. Does it leave any kind of footprint if we were to manage 300 GMBs in the same niche? Nope, it doesn't, because it goes through the API. Marco, do you want to comment on that?
No, that's exactly right. And in order to use in order to manage 300 GMBs, you'd have to do it through different users, because I think you can only get 50. You can only manage 50 GMBs per account, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's the only thing that I see in there that would hold that back. But you could add users into your account, so you could actually manage all 300, but they would just be different users. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks. So Jenny's up. He's got a couple comments here. What's up, Jenny? He's been coming forever, which is awesome. Good afternoon, Semantics. Semantiacs. I know he did that on purpose. Okay. Hope all is well. Question: my lead gen client is expanding into a new city. That's great. He says, I will be creating another GMB location, new address, new phone number, new city subdomain on main lead gen site. Do you recommend setting up completely new account with different persona, or just add another location under existing GMB account? Yeah. Okay, Jenny, a great question. Absolutely. My opinion is to create the GMB profile under a persona account. Okay, so go buy a new Google phone verified Google account, or set it up yourself. But I don't bother trying to set them up by myself anymore. I just buy them. And then create the profile, or excuse me, the GMB listing under that profile as the owner, and then make your profile or the main company Google account as the manager, and then yourself as well, so that you can manage it from your own Google account. That's what I do, guys. Like, so for example, all my lead gen client or sites, they not all of them, but most of them have independent or their own persona account owners, so to speak. And I'm doing air quotes, right? So the Google account, the profile, the personal account is a persona, and it's the owner of the GMB profile. But then whatever the brand is that it has multi-locations, that brand, the main Google profile account for that brand is added as a manager, or now as an additional owner. But it's the primary owner is still always the persona, right? But you couldn't. Just a few months ago, there wasn't the option to add additional owners. You could only add, there was an owner, and then there was managers. And then what they called communications managers, but now they also have additional owners. So what I'm saying is have the main Google profile as the primary owner, make sure that's a persona. And that's just to mitigate risk. That's to reduce your exposure. And then what you do is the brand account, have that as a profile or as an additional owner. And then what I would recommend you, Jenny, your own personal Google account. If you use that for a lot of your stuff, then make yourself as a manager as well, so you can still access it from your account too. That's how I do it. And again, guys, the reason I talk about doing that is because the problem is, I've seen in the past where if a profile gets terminated for spam, which is very rare, but if it does, then essentially everything within that account can be lost. And so if you have all of your assets, your GMB assets, all underneath one owner account, and something were to happen to that account, again, it's very rare, but if it was to happen, you'd lose everything. At least this way, if you have, multi-location, but each individual location is owned, so to speak, by a separate profile, and the brand is just a manager, then if the brand were to ever get terminated by Google for whatever reason, Google wouldn't terminate all those additional listings, even if it's the same brand, because they're not owned by that profile. Does that make sense? So it's just a way to reduce exposure. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, basically. Diversify. Okay. Jenny says, pardon, another question. Have a new lead gen client, home repair niche, who wants to go revenue share route. I'm willing to try it out. Any recommendation on contract percentage, guidelines, advice? Thank you so much for your dedication to success of others, sincerity, and excellent products that help me to get where I am with my biz. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, Jenny, I mean, it's always, in my opinion, it's always a case by case. Revenue share is something that there's not really a templated answer that I can give you. Because that's really just a personal, an actual agreement between you and that business owner. And that's why I like the revenue share model, because it's really whatever terms the two parties agree to, or all parties that are involved agree to, right? You can literally devise whatever agreement you want, and just as long as all parties agree to it. And so, like home repair niche. Now, like, for example, with my best tree service provider, I get 10% of all of whatever the contract price is. Well, let me rephrase that. I get 10% of the labor costs of the contract. So let's say it's a $10,000 tree removal job, which would be like, you know, removing several trees on a property. I get 10% of that unless there's some material expense, which is rare for tree service contractors because it's mostly all labor. Like occasionally my tree service contractor will get some sort of landscaping job. He doesn't like to do those, but sometimes he'll do some sort of landscaping work where he'll have to buy some materials like river rock or, you know, mulch or something like that. And when he does that, then there's an expense that, you know, like let's say he's got $400 in material expense and it was a $3,000 contract. Well, then there's $2,600 left and I'll get $260 because I get 10% of that. Does that make sense? So, but he only pays 10% on any on jobs that he closed, right? Jobs, leads that turned into closed sales. And then I get 10% of the revenue from that contract, less expenses. If that makes sense. However, I've also done revenue share with a home remodeling company. It was actually a kitchen remodeling company in Virginia Beach, actually. And for that, I would only get a very, very small percentage, like 5% of the profit because remember, they have a shit ton of costs. Like a general contractor, they might have a contract price for $30,000 for a kitchen, but they have to pay all their subcontractors and also pay for the materials out of that contract. The building materials. And so that $30,000 contract might only be, by the time everything's all said and done, an $8,000 profit, right? Or $8,000 or $10,000 profit. And so I would get a percentage of the profit. And that's just because that's the agreement I worked out with that particular prospect. I've heard about roofing people that do roofing jobs that get like 1% of the contract price or a 0.5% of the contract price. And you might see that, oh, well, that ain't shit. I don't want that. But think about, and this is, I've heard about people in the lead gen space that that work with commercial roofers. Marco and I were just talking about this the other day on a webinar. I don't remember which one it was, but commercial roofers, those jobs are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, commercial roofing. So, and it's typically in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range. So a 0.5% of a $100,000 contract is still a considerable size chunk of change for one lead, right? And so that's why I said it really just depends. It's going to depend. It's going to be industry. It's going to depend on what the industry is and what kind of agreement you can work out. Anybody want to comment on that?
No, I think you nailed it, Bradley. It would all come down to. It would all come down to, yeah, what kind of agreement you can come up with, and not only that, what kind of confidence, like how you're setting up your entire agreement in terms of if you have worked with this guy before, et cetera, et cetera. So we talked about that, the different types of agreements that you could have, like you could charge a small retainer plus some revenue share or lead, blah, blah. So yeah, I totally agree with you in that regard. So,
yep. Okay, so great question though, Jenny. But yeah, I mean, this is, man, you got to come join the mastermind, man, because there's a lot of stuff we go real in depth into that kind of stuff in the mastermind. So, last thing he says, local revenue share pro. Who wants one? Where's the buy now link? See, I love it when our members give us product ideas. That's great. Thanks, Jenny. Scott, what's up, buddy? Emmeline says, just got my RYS stack delivered and have to say, lovely work. I'm not sure the best way to push links to the stack. Should I just push the Google site or all files within the stack? Yeah, Emmeline, we already talked about this, but contact us, support@semanticmastery.com, and request the done for you RYS. What is it? Was that the black book? Or was that the done for you RYS guide?
If he ordered a done for you RYS stack, then he should order the done for you RYS guide.
Okay, that wasn't the black book though, right?
The black book is only available to RYS reloaded buyers.
Okay, got you. Okay, so the done for you guide is what you should be requesting, Emmeline. We'll send it to you, and that should answer most of your questions regarding best uses of it or best practice. Okay, Rick, what's up, Rick? I got to talk on the phone with Rick a few weeks ago. He says, any updates or links to the GMB posting software? Yeah, did somebody post that already?
I think Marco posted something to the marketplace.
Yeah, but that's not what the poster is it? The auto poster?
Yeah, it's there. All he needs to do is click on the auto poster, and he'll go to where he needs to go.
Okay, cool. So there you go, Rick. Go to mgyb.co, and you'll be able to find it there. That's our new local marketing services marketplace that we're going to be building out. So just go there and check it out. Okay. All right, we're almost done. Let's see. It says, I need to promote Israel local business in Hebrew. Is it right to use YouTube accounts in USA or to do it with Israel IP only? Thanks, Asher. Honestly, I never do anything outside of the US, or I haven't yet. And I've been at this for a long time now, so I don't know that I ever will. But as far as I know, and I'll let Marco and Hernan chime in on this because they've got a lot more experience in doing stuff in other countries. But as far as I know, it pretty much, if you do anything in the U.S. market, it will help anywhere else.
Yeah,
it's not the same. It's not vice versa though. But
yeah.
So go ahead, Hernan.
No, I agree that the way you put it is like, if you can open, it's easier. Here's the thing. It's easier to get accounts from the US, right? It's easier to get content from the US. It's easier to get pre-made, or phone verified accounts in the US. So what I would suggest is try it out. Like get, 5 accounts in the US with US IP and try to rank for Hebrew keywords, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that would work. I mean, it worked in Spanish and some other stuff, right? So
yeah.
I can't say too much because of the medium that we're using for communication, but we have an awesome thing where we could do something right in Israel for you. If you write to support at semanticmastery.com, we'll have, or guys, be on the lookout for an email that's coming that's gonna blow your socks off. So if you're targeting Israeli local businesses in Hebrew, I don't know if you're doing it in Israel or if you're doing it in the US, but whichever way, I mean, it'll help. And to me, it would be totally natural and logical for a business in Israel to promote businesses in the US in Hebrew. To me, that's just logical and natural.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let's see. Damn it. I was trying to find, this must be it. It looks like one of the questions, I knew it because it looked, he had a follow-up comment. One of the questions that got posted, guys, is Google saying was removed for spam. And for some reason they won't allow, like you can click to show comments and look, it doesn't. So I can't answer it because I don't know what the question was. And that's look within. Look within. I'm pretty sure that's yours. Oh, never mind. Looks like maybe now it did post. Yeah, it looks like maybe it originally you posted down here and it got removed for spam for whatever reason. And that's where that comment came. Anyways, Peter from Poland, I'll get to that in a minute. I know we're almost out of time, guys. I can stick around for just a couple more minutes, but I do need to go because I got to go get my daughter. So anyways, Peter from Poland says, I ordered a press release about 3 weeks ago. When should I see results? Well, sometimes one press release isn't going to do it, man. You know, I'm sorry, but Peter, I'm not trying to pick on you, buddy, but ordering one press release, a lot, you know, sometimes you will see results, but I never expect to see results from one press release. You know, I always, when I plan on using press releases to get results, I always plan on a minimum of 3 press releases. Sometimes I've been able to get results with just one. Like, I'm not kidding. When I was doing all the research and testing for Local PR Pro, I literally had several GMBs, like maps listings, that popped right into the 3-pack from one press release. But those results are not typical, right? And never once did I ever tell anybody to expect those kind of results. What I did say is out of the 15 properties that I applied that method to, 12 of them, which is 80%, I was able to get into the 3-pack within 6 press releases or less. Does that make sense? But again, that's just going right out of the gate expecting that I'm going to have to publish at least 3 or 4 press releases to get the kind of results that I want. And 3 or 4 press releases in a relatively short amount of time. If you do 3 or 4 press releases over the course of a year, you may see results, but it's a lot less likely than if you do 3 or 4 press releases in 6 or 8 weeks. Does that make sense? Or like Rob does in a week. I always spread them out about once every 2 weeks. So, Peter, if you're not seeing results from one press release, which is very normal, very typical, then order another one. Start setting up a PR stack. I prefer the stack method over hitting the money site direct with multiple PRs, but I know that that's been tested by Rob as well, and that seemed to work just as good. I prefer, like I said, the stack method. If you don't have Local PR Pro, you ought to think about getting it. If you're going to be using press releases for ranking, then which is guys, it's like my go-to link building strategy now. Like, I don't really do any sort of link building stuff anymore besides just use press releases because they just fucking work so well. And it's easy. I just give the who, what, when, where, and a quote, and the target URLs to the writer. They write it, and then it goes out to the distribution service, and it's done. It's very simple for me. Instead of me having to run link building tools and all that kind of stuff, and it just works really well. Okay. Dan says the MGBY or MYGB YouTube views is not working. The link
It is, Dan. If you look on the page, there's a register button. You have to register in order to get into the ordering platform. So click on that register button. That we'll make it bigger. It's one of the things that we have to do. Hit register so that you can get a user for the platform, and then you're good to go. It's free. You're not going to be charged to register, but you do need to register in order to use the services. Make sense?
Yep. Jim says you spoke about how backlinks and video embeds can or will cause a red flag. No, I say if you hammer them, if you go overboard, Jim, that's what I said. I didn't say using backlinks and or embeds to videos that don't have any views will harm your video unless you're going way overboard. And what is the threshold to be way overboard? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I just try to think about it logically, right? And that's how I try to do a lot of my SEO. Think about it logically and then put it to the test and determine what works. And so again, to the follow-up to this was if there aren't actual views or other engagement, does this mean that the video Powerhouse embeds could potentially harm newer or smaller YouTube accounts for local clients? No, I mean, yeah, potentially. If you overdo it, I guess it could. But that's the same with any sort of SEO tactic. If you overdo it, it can blow up in your face, right? And so, people have asked dozens of times on Hump Day Hangouts about, how I go about promoting a video. And just like I mentioned earlier, using the video Powerhouse. Just like I mentioned earlier, it's the same. My answer has never changed because it's the same process I use. When I start go to promote a video, I usually select 50 embeds, 50 tier 1 embeds, and then I'll do like 2,500 web 2 embeds and things like that maybe. But the tier 1 embeds, it's very, very small amount. And I drip those out over at least a 14-day period because that's not a lot, guys. Think about 50 embeds over 14 days. What I'm used to hearing people when they talk about embed networks is like Money Robot embed networks that have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of web 2s out there, and they go upload a video to YouTube, and as soon as the damn thing's rendered and they grab the URL, they go blast it out across tens of thousands of accounts, tens of thousands of embeds, right? And again, I just mentioned you can brute force SEO stuff, but you can also get results by having the engagement signals, and in just a tiny fraction of SEO stuff will get you the same results as what the mass spammers need to do. And so instead of having to worry about running all those tools or buying all those credits in SERP space or, building out all these networks, your own embed networks and your own web 2 profiles and all that stuff, instead of doing all that, I prefer setting up a traffic engagement by buying YouTube ads or using the MGYB YouTube view service, and then just do a little bit of SEO, a handful of embeds, a handful of backlinks and social signals or shares. Social shares is better than social signals, right? That kind of stuff. So yeah, again, Video Powerhouse, if you were to take a brand new channel, upload a video, and in a minute later you order 5,000 embeds, tier 1 embeds, and you have them delivered immediately, then yeah, that's a spam signal. Because if the video has no engagement, why the hell would it get pushed out across the web like that unless it was an SEO trying to manipulate its search positioning, right? Think about it logically, guys. That's all. It just takes a moment to think about, what looks natural and what doesn't. And if you want to go the heavy spam route, then you can just go fucking ape shit on it. Pardon my language, but if you're gonna go throw kitchen sink spam at it, that kind of stuff, then just do it, brute force it. But I don't like that method. That's not my preferred method. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Shit, we still got a couple more. MLN, I had set up an ad ID page on a subdomain on my main site. Do I need to do anything on my main homepage to direct the bots to my ad ID home HTML page? No, it just put it in the ad ID field and the structured data markup in the header on your site. That's where the ad ID page is referenced, right? It's in the structured data for local business markup. There's the ad ID field. That's where you put the URL, and it's just for the Google bot. Okay. Look within. This is the copy of the email that came from Semantic Mastery in regards to the Google Driving Directions widget. Okay, for many business owners, getting customers to your door is a primary goal, and a Google Driving Directions widget is perfect for helping customers find your storefront. So how can you squeeze in as much SEO juice out of the widget? First, the widget itself is a great tool. This came from Semantic Mastery? Who wrote this?
I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know about the widget. We've talked about Google Driving Directions. I don't know where widget came from, though. If this was in our copy from one of our emails, then somebody misplaced a widget in there, which they shouldn't have, because Google Driving Directions you just create manually from Google Maps. And then you can embed those into what we call geo posts. And I can't get into that on a public Hump Day Hangout. That's for our mastermind members and RYS Reloaded members. But, you know, you can create driving directions maps right from Google Maps. It's not a widget. It's not a plugin. And you just grab the embed code and then place it within the geo post. So I'm not sure if this did come from us. Look within. If you don't mind replying or sending that email to us at support, we'll make sure that we locate it and have it edited, because widget is not. That's not I think that term was appended and it shouldn't have been, and I think that's what's causing this issue. Okay, and this sounds more like it would have possibly come from SERP space, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, just send it if you don't mind. Send us the email, forward it to us at support@Semantic Mastery, and we'll figure out where that error occurred and make sure we remove that term widget, because it's not a widget. It's just Google Driving Directions from Google Maps. Okay. Question is, what Bradley looking for in GMBs when using Chad software? Question is, what is Bradley looking for? Oh, Sean, great question. By the way, that software is badass. It's free too, which is great. Anyways, I'm just looking for potential locations to set up a GMB profile listing for that I can get like basically what I call sniping. And it's not like I didn't make that up. That's an old term, right? It's an old term I just made up. But sniping into the 3-pack, which means finding locations that have people that are in like the way that I can't get into this because I'm out of time, but the way that the software works is it goes and it pulls directly from Maps API what the top 10 listings are based upon the geolocation that you set within the software. So you set coordinates. You don't put in a zip code. You don't put in a city name. You put coordinates in, latitude and longitude. And from there, it mimics as if there was a search being performed from that exact coordinate. And then what happens is it pulls the top 10 listings from Google's Maps API for that particular search phrase in that location. And then what I do is I look for out of those top 10, if there are several that are unverified GMB listings. And if there are several unverified in the top 10, then I know I have especially in the top 5, then I know that I have a really good chance of just optimizing a GMB profile well and verifying it and getting into the 3-pack. And the very first test that I tried with that, boom, into the 3-pack within 1 hour of verification, of adding the verification pin. Within 1 hour, I was in the top, at #1 position in the 3-pack for 2 out of my top 5 main, my 5 main keywords. And I just did this last week, which is it was amazing. And I've got another test set up. I have not been able to go get the PO box yet, but I've got another target location that I'm going to test this on to see if I can duplicate the results. Okay.
And just to add to that real quick, we're going to have a way for you to snipe away no matter where you are in the world. That's coming. That's all I can say. That's coming. Anywhere in the world you could be, and you'll be able to snipe away.
Yep. This was Don saying something about, thanks, Don, by the way. He's saying the Google URL short links, that when Google URL shortener goes away, that all the links are going to be killed. I don't know that that's true, Don. I know that other like link shortening companies that have gone out of business, that type of stuff, but Google's not going anywhere. I don't know that they're going to kill it and kill all the existing links on the web.
the blog post that they did on that said that they will keep all existing shortened URLs in the database, and they will redirect properly into however long in the future they keep doing things this way.
Yeah. Oh, Dan says he already registered, so that's not it. So
yeah,
there must be a problem.
Dan, hit me up in Facebook. Just leave me an IM, and I'll get with you and we'll work it out.
Yep. So Don, just to follow up on your question, because of what Marco just said, that's why I continue to use Google URL shorteners. Google's not going anywhere anytime soon, guys. So if when Google terminates the Google URL shortener, again, on their blog post, they said that they're going to keep all those redirects live. It just, you won't be able to create any new ones or access the goo.gl dashboard anymore. Does that make sense? So I appreciate the advice, but yeah, I mean, we certainly would have looked into that before telling everybody to continue using it, right? All right, last thing, I'm just going to read Jim's comment, and I got to go. We're already late. Thanks for clarifying, Bradley. Going overboard could have meant a lot of things. No GSA blasting a video on this end. Well, thanks, Jim. That's awesome. So, hey, everybody, appreciate you all being here. No mastermind webinar this week either, so we'll see you guys next week for Hump Day Hangouts. Thanks, Marco, for hanging out.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.